Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hi, friends. Well, it's a beautiful day in August. And when we started some months ago, who knew that a big day would be August 14th? So I'll tell you more about why August 14th is a big day in a minute. Welcome to Unity of Fort Collins. My name is Ann Hudgens, and I'm currently serving as the president of the Unity Council, and it's my pleasure to help serve this church and our community with love. Do we have any folks who are new to us today? Yay! There's a whole bunch of new folks today. Welcome. We're excited to have you. At the back of the sanctuary, there's a table that says welcome, and we'll have some folks at the end of the service. So if you'd gather at the welcome table, we'd be super happy to share a welcome packet with you and tell you more about our unity and to answer any questions you might have. Hi to folks online. We're excited to have you joining in, and I keep having to remember how big our online community is. So it's very typical for us to have more than 70 views online as we spread unity of Fort Collins to the world, which is part of our mission statement. We're going to have a couple of more announcements today than we usually do. And so for those who are newcomers, you happen to join us in a celebratory day. So Leanne Gable will speak after a while about our annual picnic and an update about our financial situation. And I want to publicly thank Arlene Brown and Joe Macon. I knew that. Arlene and Joe have graciously purchased the food for our annual picnic. So thanks to Arlene and Joe. Main dish. Everybody else still needs to bring potluck kinds of things, yes. And Jim wanted you to attend to the idea that we're starting his group is going to start a week later, so coming up.
Actually, daytime, 1 o'clock, and then another one, 7 o'clock.
Okay. Daytime one is 1 o'clock, evening one is 7 o'clock. The Divine Audacity group, we have enough folks interested to do one in person at the church and one, no.
They're both Zoom.
Both Zoom. So sorry, Jim. All right. So information in your bulletin about that. So without a lot of further ado, can I call the search team, the council, and Jim and Sharon to the front of the, please join us at the front. Jim and Sharon, you should be right in the middle, right here. And everybody get yourselves on camera. And smile for the camera. This is the group of folks who have served on our search committee and are members of our council. And the search committee has completed the search process. The search team had a community meeting where we asked for input about what was important to us in our permanent ministers. And they said, we strongly considered these qualities from the community meeting. We want a leader to be a trained unity minister. We want them to be able to step outside the box. We want a leader who sees and values what is already here, as well as brings fresh ideas. We want a leader who will ask what we want and help us to create that. We want someone who seeks to join us on the path. We want them to be attuned to what we have to give. We want a leader who is very skilled as a spiritual counselor. We want someone who practices collaborative leadership. We want a leader who enjoys empowering others to lead. We are interested in a coach facilitation model of leadership. We want a leader who considers themselves a community member who can nurture as well as receive nurturance. We want heart-centered leadership. We want someone who models vulnerability, someone who wants to grow alongside us. We want a leader who resonates with interfaith teachings, philosophies, and readings. We want a leader who respects the building, the space, and the people. We want a leader who is IT knowledgeable. Thank you, Jim. We want all classes and workshops to be affordable and accessible regardless of financial situation. That's what our community asked for. Our search committee has been working to listen to our congregation to hear what is wanted in spiritual leadership. We then advertised through the UWM Unity Worldwide Ministry, met their requirements, and had 2 viable candidates. After interviewing both couples, we have unanimously decided that at this time, the best candidates for the spiritual leaders of our community are Reverend Sharon Bush and Reverend Jim Yaw. They are strong proponents of co-creating community that, per Jim, we are already doing. Their easy energy between the 2 of them is a strong plus in shared leadership. Their styles complement each other, and thus they meet these qualities listed that the community desired in our spiritual leaders. They get us. While Jim and Sharon bring ideas of their own as to how to serve and strengthen the community, they express a desire to lead by empowering and supporting the community itself to engage and co-create its vision of a thriving community. They also express a willingness and desire for a healthy and constructive feedback loop from community members as we move forward in the next version of Unity. Let's celebrate our search team, our council, and most of all, our spiritual leaders.
I'm really glad you didn't ask me to walk on water.
We know you could.
Well, in the puddles, I certainly could. I'm just honored to serve you in whatever manner it is, and that is during COVID, when we were just traveling to churches as guest speakers, usually in their room over Zoom, I so missed having a spiritual community. That's why I am here, is because I needed a spiritual community to help me on my spiritual walk. So I see us doing this together as we grow in consciousness with spirit. So thank you for honoring us today. It's probably the most uncomfortable I'll ever be here. But I thank the search committee and I thank the council. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful interaction with you, with the energy. And we're just going to soar higher and higher.
You know, about 3 years ago, Sharon and I left Unity of Sun City And when we left that congregation, my heart kind of broke because we were leaving our friends, those that we had celebrated with for 12 years. But you know what? I found it right here. So thank you for that. And I also want to thank the council and Ann Hudgens as president of the council and the search team. I'm almost speechless, so maybe next week I'll have more to say. Oh no, maybe next week. And you know, there's a individual. His name is Omar. Well, his name skips me right now, but an author, and he said, the only reason why you're able to see something in others is because you have it in yourself. And so, thank you, Anne, for all the kind words. But I know that all of these qualities that you've mentioned are also in each and every one of you. Thank you.
Well, let the weird church continue. Yay. Leanne has a couple of things that she wants us to know about our financial situation, and then we will commence with the service.
Okay. First, I'm going to talk about the picnic. You guys remember Yogi Bear? Come on. So next Sunday is our annual picnic. We've been doing this for decades, the exception of a couple of years during COVID. And Unity will be providing the main dish, which Joe and Arlene covered, as Ann mentioned earlier. They covered the cost of that. And we'll have, it's beef brisket and pulled chicken, and we'll have tempeh from Avo's with barbecue sauce options and bun options. And then you guys please bring sides and salads and desserts, veggies, whatever you'd like. And I'm going to pass this clipboard one more time to ask people to sign up to come and help. Looks like we have a good amount of people to help clean up, but we could use a couple of more folks in the morning at 9 a.m. We'll try to get everything set up in an hour so we can all be together in the service at 10, and then go out and enjoy some good food together. Thank you. I gotta step up here because I need more hair. Okay, so I'm briefly going to talk about money, which I know makes some people uncomfortable. Anne was so brave last week. That was a hard thing to do. In fact, historically, it's a hard thing for us to do here because we're, 45 years Unity of Fort Collins has been around, and we've mostly been really financially stable. We've been in a good place. We've thrived. And I want to clarify, we're not in a negative place right now. What Ann was communicating last week was just to indicate that we're not quite where we'd like to be at this time of year. So I'm going to give you a brief history. On August 1st in 2019, we had $49,000 in our bank accounts. In 2020, that was $53,000. In 2021, that was $46,000. Right now in 2022, we're at $29,000. So less than we'd like to be. We're not in the negative. We're paying all our bills. We're paying all our people. But we are spending more every month than we're bringing in, which puts us in a place of, eventually those things are going to catch up with each other, and we don't want that to happen. Whoops. We've been relying on our cushion, and we appreciate you guys contributing to that. So a lot of that is because of COVID. There was a big impact on a lot of churches throughout the country, not just ours. In fact, hundreds of churches around the country have closed, many Unity churches as well. Jim and Sharon have shared some information about that. We didn't close. We pulled through it. We've added to our technology so that we can have a better online presence, and we'd just like to continue to thrive. So I'm going to tell you briefly what thriving means to me And it's not just a personal opinion. This is based on my 20 plus years in this community. It means that we pay our people well. We maintain and improve our grounds and our building. We own this building, and it is mortgage free, but it's certainly not expense free. For example, our insurance alone, our property insurance, is $10,000 a year. So just like you at home, we have bills to pay here. We believe in supporting our youth and families, enjoying our guest speakers and musicians. We gratefully accept all the volunteer help, all the folks who step up and donate their time. And we want to offer affordable classes and discussion groups. So think about all those things, and then think about how do we want to grow and continue to grow into the future. So you can figure out why do you want to give? What's the value you place on your experience here? Just a little shout out to NPR for that. You know, who do you want to support? What do you want to support? Do you love children's education? Do you want that program to continue to be here? And any amount that you give helps, any amount. You can give it weekly, monthly, quarterly. It does help a lot if we get donations on a regular basis. It helps with our in and out, our inflow and outflow. This thing is really sensitive. Online giving certainly helps. And we have an updated wish list that we're going to publish if you're interested in perhaps donating a larger amount to help cover one of our larger expenses, things that are on that wish list outside our regular budget. Just about done. A couple of housekeeping things. We tried Tithely as a way to give online, and it actually didn't turn out to be optimal for our congregation and our church business here. So we're going to return to PayPal as a single source for online giving, and we can also process credit card payments through them. So we'll be making that transition and communicating about that. And I've been heading the finance team for the last several years, which is mostly me and Gerald. Occasionally another one or two people. We'd like to recruit some new folks to work on that. This is kind of an oversight committee that works with the council, the treasurer on the council, and I'm really ready to pass along my leadership position. I'm 66, and most of you know I had a heart attack this year, so I'd like to slow down a little bit more and let some other folks step up. So if you have any interest, and especially if you have some experience in that area, please reach out to me. And if you don't know how to contact me, Julie always knows in the office. And I'm going to end with a 3-sentence prayer, if you'd like to join me. We know that Spirit is the source of all. We open our hearts to divine ideas about ways to give and receive. We are in the flow of unlimited abundance. Amen and thank you.
Amen and thank you. Thanks, Leanne. All right, it's time to commence our service. Everybody, please take a deep breath, and we'll center ourselves with our unity centering prayer. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world. Thanks, God.
Talking in front of people, so I'm just going to turn around. I'm just going to face this way. Okay, so I am going to ask that if anyone wants to make a donation up until the end of the year, I am going to double it. So if you make a donation of $100, I'll donate $200. If you donate $500, I'll donate $1,000. So there you go.
your guitar going there,
Yeah.
Lauren? Okay. 3, 4.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Woke up this morning and I smile with the rising sun. There's 3 little birds pitched by my doorstep. Oh, and they sang me sweet songs, a melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Singing, don't you worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Lena, what'd you see this morning? Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds perched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Gonna be alright, alright. Don't worry about a thing. I won't worry, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
Every little thing.
'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright, alright.
One more time.
Alright. 'Cause
Every little thing gonna be
True story.
Good morning. Is this loud enough? Good, good. Okay, well, the best laid plans often run amok. So I am not going to read what I had planned and told Julie about, but I picked up something else, and somehow it feels real appropriate. It's amazing how Spirit works in that way, isn't it? You make plans, and she says, let's do this instead. So this is from The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. Then a plowman said, "Speak to us of work. You work that you may keep pace with the earth and the soul of the earth. For to be idle is to become a stranger unto the seasons, and to step out of life's procession that marches in majesty and proud submission toward the infinite. When you work, you are a flute, through whose heart the whispering of the hours turns to music. Which of you would be a reed, dumb and silent, when all else sings together in unison? Always you have been told that work is a curse and labor a misfortune. But I say to you that when you work, you fill a part of earth's furthest dream, assigned to you when that dream was born. And in keeping yourself with labor, you are in truth loving life. And to love life through labor is to be intimate with life's inmost secret. And all work is empty, save when there is love. And when you work with love, you bind yourself and to one another and to spirit. And what is it to work with love? It is to weave the cloth with threads drawn from your heart, even as if your beloved were to wear that cloth. It is to build a house with affection, even as if your beloved were to dwell in that house. It is to sow seeds with tenderness and reap the harvest with joy, even as if your beloved were to eat the fruit. It is to charge all things you fashion with a breath of your own spirit, for work is love made visible.
Could I get more bass since I start the song and I'm the only one playing? I can't hear it. I'm sorry. Oh, Richard. Yeah. Gerald, is there a way you could? You know what? We could just let him start it. Let's do that. Ready? Go for it.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy.
Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. But don't worry.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Be happy.
The landlord say your rent is late, and he may have to litigate. But don't worry.
Be happy.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. My phone number's listed in the program. Give me a call if you need to talk. I make you happy. Maybe make you laugh. Got no cash, got no style, ain't got no one to make you smile. Don't worry, be happy. When you worry, your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, guys. Put a smile on your face. Gives you endorphins. It'll bring everybody down if you're not happy. And anyway, it'll pass whatever it is. Bring it home. Be happy. Thank you to our guests. You are Lauren and Elena. Thank you. And John, the dad and grandpa.
Well, you get a prize if you can tell me what today's talk's about. Don't worry. Be happy. So we all worry, right? Have you ever had a week where you didn't have a worry slip through your head? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to turn that don't worry into a be happy. Unfortunately, us humans make worry a way of life sometimes, while our souls call for happiness. We worry unnecessarily, and most of the time we worry when we don't need to. Worry is something that we do about something that's going to happen in the future. So there are two types of thought. There's God thought, and there's worry, worldly thoughts. And for some reason, our humanness wants us to hang out over here with the two W's. Have you ever had a night tossing and turning? Gotta get to sleep. Oh, I gotta get to sleep. I'm so tired. I need rest. But we lay there wide awake. We have something on our minds. And we may be worrying about the pressures that we have, worrying about finances, deadlines, our health, and then we end up worrying about not sleeping. And I'll tell you a little thing about ministers. A lot of times on Saturday nights, we wake up and we're kind of worrying about our talk. So it's like that thief that comes in the night, and our own minds are robbing us of peace and rest. And the harder you try to sleep, the more you toss and turn. But perhaps we're looking at this the wrong way. When you're in those places and you can't sleep, go within. Go within to spirit and just meditate. Release those problems and just say, right here, right now, I'm with spirit. And I don't want to sound like a car salesman, but I guarantee you'll fall asleep. Can you remember today any worries or fears that you had last year? They seemed important then, didn't they? So next year, are you going to remember the fears that you have this week? Probably not. Probably not. 9 times out of 10, we worry. Today, what we're worried about never happens, never comes to pass. It's like this cloud that we put in our minds, and we waste our day. Worry is often centered around those that we love, especially our children. So is there this magic cutoff period with our kids where we just don't have to worry anymore? Is there a wonderful moment when we can become detached and become spectators? Where we can just shrug our shoulders as we think, it's their life. It's their life. Well, you know what? I don't think this is entirely possible because we care and we love. When I was in my 20s, and that was a while back, I stood in a hospital corridor outside of the emergency room while they stitched up one of my daughters. And I asked the nurse, when do you stop worrying? She says, oh, she'll get out of this accident stage. That's when. Well, my mother, who was with me, she just smiled and said nothing. When I was in my 30s, I sat in that little chair in a daughter's classroom, and I heard how she talked constantly, disrupted the class, and was probably headed for a career making license plates. And as if to read my mind, the teacher said, don't worry. They all go through stages. And then you can just sit back and relax and enjoy them. Well, then I was in my 40s. And I spent a lifetime waiting for the phone to ring. 4 daughters. Waiting for the car door to open out there in my driveway. How long do they have to kiss goodnight? Worrying. And someone said to me, well, they're just trying to find themselves. Yeah, in the back seat of a car? Don't worry, Sharon. In a few years, you can stop worrying. They'll be adults. Well, by the time I was in my 50s, I was still worrying over these girls. But there was a new wrinkle, both on my face and in the situation. While I listened to their failures, their concerns about their frustrations, their disappointments, they were young adults. And first of all, if I had offered advice, they wouldn't have listened. And someone said, well, soon they'll really mature and you can stop worrying. So during the last 19 months, I have learned a lesson. I have learned about setting worry aside and living in the now moment, a day at a time. And I would like to share that lesson with you. First, let me introduce you to my 4 daughters. The blonde on the end is Lori. She's the reason we moved here. She's a cowgirl and she owns a ranch here. And we moved here because as the oldest, her house is party central. So the rest of them come there and all the grandkids. The next one in line is Lisa, and she's the second to the oldest. She lives in Las Vegas, and she's our reader, our quiet one. And then we have the bride, who's my granddaughter, Rachel, and her husband, Enrico. And this is 3 years ago or so. And next to the bride is her mother, Linda, who lives in Golden. She's moved to Colorado since we've been here. And on the end, we have Leslie, who lives in New York. And today I'm going to share about Leslie with you. Leslie was an international model for 20 years. She's traveled all over the world, and she loves to travel. She has a son, Ethan, who's 20 years old. They both live in New York. And Leslie loves nature. She has a personal relationship with the owls who live in her backyard in the trees. She has chickens who she loves. She loves to hike. And in the wintertime, Leslie loves to hike with her friends in the snow. And she lives near the Catskills in New York. And hiking on the weekend with her friends, camping with her friends, is very important to her. Well, this picture was taken in December of 2020. And at that time, Leslie had shared with us that she had this pain kind of in her side by her ribs. And this had gone on for 3 years, and she kept trying to get a diagnosis. What's wrong with her? And so she finally, at the end of December in 2020, made an appointment herself with a liver specialist. And she had gone before that she went to one man doctor, and she went in and he said to her, "Look at you. You're beautiful. You're healthy. You're active. Why are you even here?" So this kind of kept going on. So she went to a liver specialist who referred her to Sloan Kettering in New York because he wasn't sure what was wrong with her. And it turned out that Leslie has bile duct cancer. Only about 2,000 people a year get bile duct cancer. It's very rare. So I flew to New York for her first appointment with a specialist who only specializes in bile duct cancer and its research. And he immediately thought I was the patient just because, well. And my daughter says, no, it's me. And so he talked to us about bile duct cancer and said that he would try to do surgery to take out some of it, but he had never had a patient survive. And that only 2% of the people who are diagnosed with this cancer live a year. So that's where we were. And they scheduled her for surgery. And she says, "Mom, you go on home. I'm okay. And my friend will take me." And so the morning of her surgery, I got up at 3 o'clock because she was to go be at the hospital at 5. And so I was sitting there just holding her in my heart, sending her love energy, waiting for her friend to call me. And I had a vision. I was deep in meditation. And it would be like one of you had texted me on the phone and it said, "She's okay." And I thought, okay, she's okay. And instantly my cell phone rang. And it was her friend saying, "Sharon, they just did some little samples. It's everywhere. They didn't operate." So I'm sitting there, and it's like, well, what is this about? And then it was like, she's okay. She is okay. Whether she's on this side of the veil or that side of the veil. Leslie is okay. That has been my mantra for the last 19 months, every morning. So Leslie's still working, in spite of being tired and sick a lot of the time. She has to work mainly to keep her health insurance. But she has taken the time to train and honor Kelly. Leslie, after years of modeling, was a makeup artist, and she works for a company that sells hair products and makeup and things like that. And she just trained Kelly in how to apply natural makeup. So she's still very involved in her job. And just to give you a little recap of this person who's saying, I don't give a shit. I'm going to live every day. She recently, with two of her friends, went to Iceland and had an amazing time in a beautiful place, although part of the time she was in a wheelchair. A couple of weeks ago, for the 18th year in a row, her gang went up to a place in northern New York and camped for a 3-day weekend. She loves life, and she decided, I've always wanted to jump over those gates on a horse. So this is Tonka, the horse that Lori rides. Whoops, wrong slide. There's Tonka. Leslie loves Tonka, and she takes riding lessons, and she's learning how to jump on Tonka. And she has already said, I'm coming to Colorado in November for Thanksgiving because I want to ride my sister's horses again. So Leslie wrote on her Facebook page this day, it was her birthday last month, and she said, perfect birthday morning, up early to ride on Tonka. We did some awesome trail training with lots of courses. So very happy to be here, to celebrate another year of life. And to back up a touch, in January, when Leslie had made the 2% who live a year, she gave herself a celebration of life party with about 40 people. So now on to the last slide. That's Leslie. Leslie was a skydiver. She's got 18 skydives. If it had become an Olympic sport, she would have been on the team. She loves it, absolutely loves it. And when I would say to her, you're always doing these adrenaline rush things, like motorcycles and mountain climbing, she goes, skydive is spiritual. You're coming down and you're seeing the world. It's beautiful. So the day after this picture, and she had to go tandem because her legs, because of the chemotherapy, no longer could handle a landing by herself. So she wrote, the day after skydiving, here we go nuts. Chemo number 47 tomorrow. Kind of like I'm going to be disqualified, as I barely made it last week. Maybe my weekend, seeing my old friends, boosted me. Definitely started to get challenging with all the damage chemo has done. Then in capital letters, but I'm here living and still very happy to be here. So please, send all your good vibes that I qualify today. Thank you in advance. And by the way, friends, make it a good week. So I won't say that I don't ever worry about Leslie or the rest of my family, because I do. But I try to be aware of the kind of energy that I'm putting out when I'm worrying about them. So if you're worried about someone, the energy that you have is heavy and negative. And that's what you're sending to enfold them. So when you pray for somebody who's sick and you're worried about them, have an awareness about what's going on inside of you. In unity, we pray positive prayers. So today, Leslie's okay, and I see her healthy and happy, and I know that her soul is on fire with love. So when you feel those worries coming, I invite you to turn within. Turn within spirit. And in the quietness of the moment, focus on just today. Just today, sending love energy. I see Leslie okay and having a happy day. And that's the energy that I want to send to her. So when we change our thoughts to thoughts that can be thankful, that to thoughts of gratitude, to thoughts of knowing that every one of us is a spiritual being having a human experience. And yes, we enjoy living in these bodies, but it's not who we are. We are spiritual beings. So when my thoughts move to the future, I can, or sometimes I do, feel myself becoming upset, starting to worry about Leslie and her gang of 40 women back in New York who have been wonderful supporting her in this. How is it going to be? And then, even though I really understand cancer, I was a hospital chaplain at a big teaching hospital, and oncology was one of my wards. I also know that Leslie is not her cancer. She demonstrates, has given me the ability to learn from her this year. She demonstrates real life, loving her friends, over and over filling her days with fun, loving her chickens, loving her owls in the tree. So every morning when I meditate, I remind myself, today, Leslie's okay. And I know that some of you have known that I have a daughter with that awful word, and they'll ask me, and my answer always is, she's okay. And she is. And I also know, because I've had the miracle of being able to walk again after being paralyzed, and I know that there are you who have had amazing miracles in your life. So I know that tomorrow at Sloan Kettering, Leslie's doctor could find the answer. And a miracle could happen, and her body would be healed. But I also know that her soul is whole and healthy. Because when we live each moment, tomorrow's worries never come. And besides, worry has no control over our circumstances. It really just robs us of today's joy. So you can trust that whatever befalls you, you have the resources to handle it. The evidence for this is in the fact that you have never had a day in the past that you couldn't handle, or you wouldn't be here with me. So the good man in the Old Testament, Job, said, "The very thing I fear has come upon me." And we can actually think our fears into being future experiences. And that's the power of our thoughts. Leo Buscaglia said, "Worry never robs tomorrow of its sorrow. It only saps the joy of today." So how do we rise above the conditions that come into our lives? How do you rise above lack, limitation, worry, health challenges? I invite you to do it by consistently going within to spirit and rising above your seemingly problems where you know you are a spiritual being. So in the end, I want to add, in the late 1980s, Bobby McFerrin had a thought that kept running through his mind. It played over and over and over, and it went like this. In every life, we have some trouble. But when you worry, you make it double. So don't worry. Be happy. That is the thought that wrote the song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. He recorded it a cappella because that's how it ran through his mind. The song makes being happy seem so easy. But there are some practices that we can do to get our happy on at any time and in any place. First, it's important to understand that happiness is influenced by how we look at the past, the present, and the future. We are more likely to experience happiness when we can look at the past with gratitude. Even if we've met challenges, struggles, or turmoil along the way, whatever happened, happened, and there were lessons in it for us. If we can fully accept and make peace with our past, we can see it not as a tombstone, but as a stepping stone for greater good. This allows us to be free and to be present. And being present allows us to be happy. That is why forgiveness is so powerful. It releases the baggage of our past. The late Irma Bombeck shared some wisdom right before she passed away. She said, "When I stand before God at the end of my life, I would hope that I would not have a single bit of happiness left. I could say, God, I used up everything you gave me. I don't want to end my life and find I have just lived the length of it. I want to have lived the length and the width as well fully." So I invite you this morning to take those words to heart. That we use up all of our happiness, all of it, to serve others. For truly I tell you, when you bring happiness into your own life, your happiness bubbles over into the lives of others. Use up your happiness. Don't worry. Be happy. That is why we are here, to complete the joy of God and be happy. So we just take that feeling right now. Mm-hmm.
So is this the whole band song?
No, it's the
Our thoughts are clear.
Our Thoughts Are Prayers, yes. That leads us into a meditation. And if we realize that our thoughts are always prayers, then we're aware of our thoughts and we make them prayers.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always
higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is everywhere, and every thought's indeed a prayer.
So I invite you to go from your mind to your heart. And in your heart, hold those people that you love. People that you might be concerned about. And feel your love for them. And know that all is well with them. And feel that love energy that you have traveling from your heart to enfold them, where at this very moment they feel a burst of happiness. For in our connectedness with each other and with those that we care about and love, and those we interact with who are strangers, we are blessed to have the ability to come from our hearts with compassion, caring, and love. So we rest a moment in the silence, thinking about what is ours to do. How can we share our love energy? So we say thank you, Spirit. Thank you for love. We feel it, we know it, and we share it. And so it is. Amen.
May the blessings of God rest upon me. May God's peace abide in me. May God's presence illuminate my heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon us. May God's peace abide in us. May God's presence illuminate our heart now and forevermore. Now and forevermore. Now and forevermore. take a week off, and
All right. Well,
well, now I realize why this song is so perfect for the finals.
yes. Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us,
Thank you,
Sharon. And this is a song I wrote a few years back, but have tweaked since hearing what Sharon was going to be speaking about today. So please feel free to sing along on the chorus. It's repetitive, and we're going to sing it a lot. So, and I hope that you'll take away from it like it's a mantra for yourself. It goes like this. Oh, oh, before I die, I'm going to live my life alive. Okay, we'll do that. The offering. We're a little out of sorts today, but all is well. Thank you.
Take your love offering in your hand and just be grateful for this opportunity to give of your abundance. And we'll say our offering statement together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
All right.
Can I get a little bit of bass? Just some.
Any luck there? No? Are you on, Amy? Yeah.
Could I get a little bit of bass, Richard?
Maybe is it at the DI box level? Perhaps? Is there?
I'm gonna plug it in different.
Is that safe?
Turn it off for a sec.
I don't know if you heard her ask for you to turn it off for a sec. Okay, go.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's nothing anyway. If there's anything, that'd be great. I'll just pretend like I'm playing, and if something comes on, that'll be fine.
All right. Well, listen closely. Here we go. And
1, 2, 3.
I've been given this life, I'm gonna try to live this life fully alive. Not gonna let it pass before my eyes. I'm gonna live my life alive. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. I am opening my heart to love, willing to surrender and trust. I won't allow myself to hesitate. When fear arises, take a leap of faith. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. I will embrace opportunity, speak my truth authentically, smell more
some trees, dare to live wholeheartedly. No more buying into lies. In my real world, everyone thrives. And mindfully, I will decide my fate. I'm conscious of the karma I create. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. Oh, before I die, join us please, my life alive. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. Oh, before I die, I'm gonna live my life alive. Leanne Allen. Yeah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Here at the corner of Lions and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here at the corner of Lions and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here at the corner of Lions and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Oh, well, it was pretty good. Like, let me pull this out, actually. Stacy gave me this out. Weird. I have. Oh, darn it. I'm so sorry. Weird. I have a feeling that I'm being accidentally funny. Oh, okay, thanks. I'm glad I'm making you laugh. I got a new. Okay, I'm gonna read this. Got to know each other. Talked about how we felt about school starting. That's pretty cool. That's what we talked about today. I was kind of a teacher assistant today because I'm the oldest.
Oh. Do we have any birthdays?
The second Sunday of the month is birthday Sunday. If we have any August babies this month, please come up. We want to sing happy birthday to you. Oh, Robert. Oh, Ellen. Oh, Nina. Oh. Would you please tell us your name and the number? The date,
date,
not
not
the
your
whole
age.
date, not the whole date, just right. No, no. Just the part of it. Nina?
I'm Nina, and my birthday's August 23rd.
I'm Ellen, and my birthday's August 9th.
Robert, and August 23rd.
Twins.
Everybody, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear beloveds. Happy birthday to you.
Why don't we just all circle up and join hands, if you would. So we have the prayer protection and the peace song. So together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.